Hello. So happy new moon in Gemini. I'm going to be starting again with just kind of looking at some crystals that I think would be really great for your new moon in Gemini. I have some chrysocolla here. This is an awesome stone to help ease communication, which is definitely a big theme of this Gemini new moon. And this is a great little stone. I really love the energy of chrysocolla. This is a cool piece that's very clear and has a really nice gemmy spot. I also have some aquamarine. This is a really nice, easily affordable and easily found type of aquamarine. It is lower grade, not gem grade, so really great to work with if you're going to carry it around or work it into a wire wrap. But this is another great stone that's going to be really wonderful to help ease and calm this Piscean energy that we're experiencing from Mars. So this would be another lovely one to work with. And the last one that I brought over was celestite. This is one of my favorite crystals ever. This is a great crystal for communication with the angels and, working with your guides and just kind of connecting in to the higher realms, especially in a dreamy, really soft, gentle way. Cool. So, just kind of talking about the new moon in Gemini, this energy is very intense. This is a big new moon. All the new moons are going to be fresh beginning type energy, but this one in particular has been pulling us out of that heavy Capricorn energy. We're going to see a lot of, this is also the beginning of all of the eclipses. So we're entering eclipse season now, which is real big energy to help us look inward and move inward. Eclipse season is gonna get real, and it'll be on that south node, north node axis that I had talked about previously, the Gemini Sagittarius axis. So we're entering a lot of Gemini energy, which is going to be bringing in, Saturn in, hey Taylor, Saturn in Aquarius. So this air energy is really trying to push us forward and move us forward, but then we have these retrogrades happening, which has us kind of still stuck in the past a little bit and still trying to rework things and rework thought patterns or emotional habits or things of that sort that you just thought that you were over with. It's a lot of that kind of energy, wow, I really thought I was done with this, and here it is again. So, relearning a lot of lessons right now. One of the biggest things about this Gemini new moon is that it's entering an era of time with Mercury going retrograde in Gemini, pinpointing a lot and highlighting areas of our life from 2012. So, if you think back to what you were doing in 2012, and that took me a while because I had definitely forgotten all of what I was doing in 2012. I was a sophomore in college, and I'm not friends with any of the same people anymore. I'm not doing any of the same things anymore. So, if you think about what you were doing in 2012, things might look very different now. And whatever themes you saw kind of coming up then, you'll start to rework themselves and finish up now. So, there is just a lot of this energy of, okay, we want to move forward, we're ready to move forward, but there's still all this stuff that I thought I was over with, and I have to redo it, and that kind of energy is always frustrating. It's funny, I woke up this morning feeling, I was really excited for the new moon energy, and when I woke up this morning, I was angry and impatient and everything kept, falling or breaking, and that kind of thing just like, yeah, puts you in that kind of mood where you're like, fuck, is anything gonna go right for me today? So I was definitely expecting a different type of energy, but this makes a lot of sense considering we have Mars doing some major squares now to the sun. He's in Pisces. So emotional outbursts are going to be common. So please treat yourself tenderly. And remember that, you're just reworking and reprocessing things that we don't want to plague us in this new world. This is our last chance, basically. We go into this energy after all the Gemini energy, we go back into Saturn retrogrades back into Capricorn. And Jupiter is retrograding as well. So there's just a lot of whatever decisions you're on the fence about, you got to get off the fence now. Because once everything starts to trickle back into Capricorn, those decisions are going to be pretty much set in stone, or you won't see opportunities opening up to move again until after all of that, which is not going to be until like 2021, sadly. So use this new moon. Use this new moon as a motivational point for you to get off the fence, whatever you've been on the fence about. You gotta do it now, or it's gonna be really challenging to do it later. Cool. So I want to kind of slip away from the astrology a little bit and focus on the tarot. Hello everybody that joined while I was blabbering about astrology. Cool. So I'm just gonna tap into the collective and do some shuffling, and then I'll be back momentarily. And I just want to also mention that the energy of this new moon is going to be an energy that's going to last for like a month. So this is not like just today. Just keep that in mind. I feel like a lot of people, when they're like looking at moon transits or like even anything in like pop culture astrology, they're like, this is happening today, and then the next day everyone forgets about it, like it is just done with, and that's just not how that works. So just remember that this is going to be energy that's residing with us for a month, which is about the time of the new moon energy. This is what I'm talking about. The energy is just so like, we have all these coins coming in for the collective. I really feel like it's like success is just at your fingertips. It feels like, obviously we had a huge pause put on things. And for a lot of people, it was a very climaxing moment and then COVID hit. So for a lot of people, they were seeing major strides in their career or in their spiritual work or with their relationships, and then COVID hit and it put this huge pause on everything, which has been very strenuous. It really is much so like wading through mud. I've been saying that for a while, but I keep getting this like June, things are gonna ease up in June. The end of May definitely has an energy of finally starting to see the things that we were cultivating before this whole void happened, trickling back in and starting to be fruitful again. Patience. I just keep hearing patience. Because the choices are coming, and then everything's coming. It's just June. I really think June is going to be a lot lighter and a lot more fun, and we're gonna be really in the head of that Gemini energy in June, and it's either going to result in a lot of making up for lost time when it comes to socializing, or it's very possible that we see some aggressive things happen. Gemini urges us to speak out about our truth and to function and communicate properly, or everything goes to shit. Gemini is like a little cog in a watch, like a little wheel in a watch, and if you take just one little piece out, the whole thing just stops working and you can't figure out why. Gemini is the one that finds that one little piece to put it all back together. So this energy could be really insightful, really eye-opening. However, it could also be, with that square that's happening to Mars in Pisces, on the collective front, we might see a lot of division, hardcore emotional division. And I get that message. I've been getting this message of like the red pill and the blue pill a lot, which is like so cheesy, and I'm kind of over it, but it keeps happening. Because the collective is really dividing, especially here in America. We're quite divided between whether people want to continue to quarantine or whether people want to start, opening things back up again. I personally don't think there's a right answer. I think both things are kind of flawed, and I think that's something that I'm kind of seeing and I think a lot of people too will start to see, like, if you step back from the whole picture, both sides are like really twisted and really emotionally involved in a way that is not healthy. So definitely through this month, try to not listen to all the Gemini buzz. There will be so much talking happening. And Gemini, God love them, but sometimes they don't even know what they're saying. They just say things just for the sake of speaking. And our president is a Gemini, so this should be a really interesting time for him. And how that affects the United States as a whole. So definitely keep a close eye on, the big picture, the whole thing. Because, we're ready to take action, and we're ready to fight, and we're ready to, be really emotionally, invested in our position and where we're ready to go. But, be careful, because you just have to be careful and make sure you're going the right direction, and make sure that you're surrounding yourself by words specifically. So not just the people that you talk to, but the words you listen to on a daily basis, on the news. I'm sorry that you're also a Gemini. I'm a Gemini rising, and I have a third house stellium, so I have a lot of Gemini in my chart as well. This is either going to be the most beautiful thing we've ever seen in our fucking lives, or this is just going to be one of those circuses, a total freak show. So it kind of depends. Are you gonna join into the freak show and pay money to watch a bunch of freaks be freaks, or are you gonna step back and maybe go a different direction? I don't know. Gemini could go any way. It's crazy. And I've been getting the messages of a lot from Spirit that whatever was happening to you in 2012, the opposite, because we're in Gemini, so it's gonna flip, like flipping a pancake, and the opposite thing is going to happen, because Okay, let me try to put this into words. It's like when you put fresh pancake batter in the pan and you haven't flipped it yet, and then the top side's still uncooked and you flip it, and the bottom side's like, it's cooked and it's still a pancake, but it's totally different. It tastes different. It's going to feel different in your mouth. You know, so that's basically what we're experiencing, is a pancake flip. I hope that makes sense. You know, this cooked energy is finally getting time to like get out into the air, and it just looks very different than anything we experienced in 2012. So I think that that's a really good thing for people who had a really fucking hard 2012. I don't remember much of mine, so I'm assuming it wasn't that great. So hopefully this starts to look very different. And then obviously, you know, people with heavy Gemini energy, so Gemini suns, Gemini risings, Gemini moons, or any of the like Venus, Mars, Mercury, and then keep an eye on your third house, because that's where Gemini lives. So, you know, the third house is going to be heavily illuminated during this next month as well. And let me pull a couple more cards. See, it's like, it's weird. This energy that should be feeling really fast and fluid and air-like just doesn't feel that way. It just doesn't even feel that way in my cards. It feels stagnant still. So I don't know about y'all, but I am over this stagnant energy. And people who, you know, can't handle it anymore are going to start to get potentially aggressive and potentially, I don't know, crazy shit's going to be happening in America in the next, like, year, all the way until 2021. Like, this is just going to be madness. Or if you're on the other side of things, it could look like the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. Your life building and transitioning into a way that just has you so at peace, so relaxed, so strong, so stable, that this new life can come in. And that's the place that we have to get to, right? So we have to find a way to get to these like beautiful, stable, strong energies. And, you know, Mars in Pisces is going to be really challenging that. And this is, you know, I think if we can stay strong and stable and confident and, so here's the thing. I definitely believe that telling yourself, you know, positive things and being really positive, helps and does a lot of great things for your mental health and the reality that you're creating within your world and your manifestation. But true power, true strength, and something that cannot topple, a castle that is built, this isn't built on that Sagittarius North Node, fa la 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 la, everything's gonna be fine, I'm not worried about anything, the universe takes care of me. Like, that kind of like whimsy, flaky energy is not going to stabilize you now. That energy does work sometimes, but right now is not one of those times. So it's time for you to be real with yourself. What will build me the best foundation? What is going to make me strong right now? And, you know, doing destructive things or pretending or attacking, you know, none of those things will build you a strong foundation. And when you have this foundation built for the new world. The castle that you can create will be unlike any other. You know, and all of the gifts of God will come in. But shit, man, we're just humans, so like, don't beat up on yourself. You know, we're trying the best we can, and I think in order to be like, it's like you have to find this place in the middle. Gemini is all about balance, and there's a place that exists in the middle of happiness and sadness. And it's not contempt, and it's different. It's this place that no matter what emotion I feel, I know I can manifest it and use it wisely. That's the energy we need to set in. And, speaking of the Sagittarius South Node, that energy of Gemini and North and Sag South is definitely going to bring out a lot of the spiritual workers who are very like flighty and want to just tell you that everything's going to be, great and lovely, and not tell you that you have to work really hard to do it. Because the truth is that you have to work really fucking hard to do this. And to do what the collective is trying to do right now. And I do really want to stress that with Gemini energy, like I said, it's that little wheel in the whole watch. So right now is not the time to focus on the collective. Not the time to worry about what anyone else is doing. And that's really hard in a health pandemic like we're in. But remember, the collective is confused right now. And neither way looks great. So you have to find that middle ground of balance. Gemini needs that balance or it just flies off the handle. So you need to find, this. I love that we had earth, water, and fire here. Because these energies, we need to be stable. We need to be secure in our emotions and our thoughts and our feelings. And we need to be strong and victorious. And, I hate to just keep telling people to just keep waiting. That feels terrible. I've been saying it for like 3 months now. But things are going to lighten up in June, and the summer should be back to more of a social existence. But then just be prepared, because when fall hits, things are going to go back into that earth energy, and things are going to start to feel restrictive again. So please enjoy this month, enjoy June, enjoy this full moon. Like, now is your opportunity to reap in all of the happiness, to reap in all of the socializing you can, because things are going to get tight again, and, you have to try to not, like, freak out. It's like a dog that's been in a cage for too long, and you let it out, and it just, like, wilds. You have to try to remember that cage is there, so, like... Don't get too crazy, because then once you get put in that cage again, it's going to feel even worse than before. So ride this slow. This is a slow time. Even with all this Gemini energy, it just feels very slow. So I'm really hopeful that the Gemini energy really picks the speed of life up again, and helps us socialize more, and helps us connect better and communicate better. We have to just really try not to let that big square to Mars and Pisces create a big emotional mess. And my biggest advice for this time right now is to sit back and watch. Now's the time to watch and see what the collective does. Because if you work on you right now, and if you work on healing yourself, and if you work on just what you need, everyone else is going to follow suit. It's very weird. It just happens.